Bobo C Tiberius here with some super budget Soul Sisters. This is a borderline keepable hand. If one of those isolated chapels is a path or literally anything, I feel like we have to keep it. As it sits right now, we're just dead to a Thoughtseize, dead to a removal spell, so we're gonna mull. Hand gets a lot better. It is still a little slow since we are on the play and not the draw. We do have to wait a turn to play the Soul's Attendant, but we're in pretty good shape once we get it going. So we'll keep this. This hand, our opponent mulliganed down to 6 with us and goes down to 5. We see a Warden on the top, so we'll keep that on top. We've got 2 sisters now. Our opponent is on a mull to 5, so that's pretty fortuitous considering our hand's a little slower. We'll play a chapel and we'll pass. Opponent's turn. Opponent starts with a forest and does not do anything after the forest. So we'll play a Warden and we will pass from there. Basic Forest says this is Elves without a dork, potentially. This could be Panza without anything to do with it. Opponent is not off to a good start. We're off to an okay one. We're going to play Skyfisher and bring the chapel back here. Apologize for the noise. Chapel comes back tapped. And we get in for 1. We still don't know what we're up against in terms of what our opponent is playing. We've yet to see anything other than a basic forest, so the assumption is a really bad start for Elves or Panza, but I don't know. We get a Plains, which is nice. We're going to play a Bugler here. Try to find us something. We're going to keep the Soul's Attendant back because we just don't know. It's tempting to take the Freebooter to see what we're against, but we're just going to take the Pridemate and have our opponent under pressure. Get in for 3 now on our opponent. We do that because it's unlikely they're able to haste our Soul Warden. Play a creature with haste to block our Soul Warden. Sometimes you do have to watch out for that. And our opponent concedes. Rough mull to 5 for our opponent, it looks like. Hard to know what to bring in. Definitely want... We're just going to submit. The assumption is it was a bad Elves play. But we'll see. We'll see what our opponent actually had. This hand is keepable. It's borderline, but it's keepable. We like the Skyfisher in this hand. There's the Llanowar Elves. So our opponent is on Elves. So when we play the Freebooter, we're going to look to... we're going to be in trouble simply because there's not a lot Freebooter can actually take. It can take a Coco, I suppose. It could take, if they're a Chord of Calling Elves deck, it could take that. But it's hard to believe there's going to be much for the Kitesail Freebooter to take once we play Kitesail Freebooter. We would love to draw a plane so we can Tidehollow Sculler. They have the Clan Caller now. Instead, we will gain some life. Elves is a mediocre matchup. It's very 50-50 for Soul Sisters. They're not having a particularly good start this game either. They do have a Lord down, but they want more than a Lord. They want the Azuri, or they want the big mana here. And it looks like, look, they're mono green as well. It looks like they're not black, so they can't play the... there's the Nettle Sentinel. Nettle Sentinel is fine. Another Nettle Sentinel comes down, untapping the other Nettle Sentinel. So we are in trouble here now. And a Clan Caller. So they're going all in. We definitely wanted to bring in the Dusk on, and we will in game 3. So we'll probably take out the Freebooters as well for some Anguished Unmakings. Just extra removal for the Lords here is really good. They can attack with their 2/2. They choose not to. And it's another Freebooter. We're going to cast Skyfisher here. And get back the Isolated Chapel. We're going to take a big hit next turn, unfortunately, though. So they are pretty far ahead of us. Some fast magic happening here. They got a little screwed over by game 1, so we got a freebie here. Beast Whisperer comes down a little late for them. I do like Beast Whisperer, a 4 mana that draws a card every turn is really strong. It's also a pretty meaty body. There's the planes we're looking for. So let's play a Bugler here to maximize mana and try to find a Pridemate. Pridemate's kind of our only option right now to slow them down. And we brick. We brick. Bricking on the Bugler feels awful. They get a Mystic, untapping their Nettle Sentinels. We would love an Isolated Chapel here to play double Freebooter. Or Sculler and Freebooter even. We'd love to, I think our only option here is mana, unfortunately. Gwynen's Elite comes down, gaining us some life. When we said in the intro, decks that can get wider than us and require us to have a Wrath, you're seeing an example of this now. No amount of life we gain is going to make up for what they're doing, being able to just draw cards and keep casting 3 toughness creatures. We can keep gaining 1 life, but it really doesn't matter because all their creatures are huge. They'll come at us with all the 4-drops. Sorry, all the 4-power creatures. And we'll just take it, unfortunately. Interesting decision here. We could Whitemane Lion the Bugler back or the Skyfisher back, but I think we're just going to Tidehollow Sculler. Get a card off of him. hopefully. It looks very much like we're going to lose this one and have to go to game 3. Let's get that Crater Hoof out of there. Oh boy. We're going to force them to try to cast the Lead the Stampede to untap their Nettle Sentinels. It doesn't really matter. There's the Lead the Stampede. Nettle Sentinels will untap. They get everything. Every card is it. No, 1, 2, 3, 4 hits out of 5. Heritage Druid comes down. Gains us some life. They'll begin the Heritage Druid nonsense. Coming at us with a lot of damage. We have to block something to not die. We will give them back Crater Hoof Behemoth, which we probably should have taken with Tidehollow. We probably should have taken that with Tidehollow, the Lead the Stampede with Tidehollow Sculler. And we'll double block there. And yeah, we're pretty much dead. Not much we can do about this one. Not much we can do about that, so they run us over with Elves. And now that we know what we're up against, the sideboard plan gets better. We'll bring in the Despark. The Anguished. I don't think we need the Despark. I keep accidentally clicking the Anguished Unmaking. I don't think we need the Despark. The only thing it gets rid of is their big bear. We'll bring in the Wraths, and I think we'll bring in some number of damping spheres. Freebooter is bad. Duress effects seem awful against this deck. I think the flying is relevant more than the flash of Whitemane Lion, so we'll cut a couple of those. We'll cut a monument. And we'll cut an Archangel, and we'll submit that. We want to go Cistern to Pridemate. It's close. It's really, really close. It's a little slow, though. We're going to see a better 6. Doesn't get much better, but we do have the path. We have Skyfisher, so we have options. Keep Soul Warden on top, and then play the Plains here. We need to get a Soul Warden before they start exploding their hand, and we're able to do that here. They do start with a Dork, a shiny Dork. We're going to now play the Windbrisk Heights, so that we can curve into Bugler. We'll tuck a Militia Bugler with the Windbrisk Heights, play a Soul Warden, and pass. We really want Bugler to reveal Pridemate. That's kind of how we win this game, is with Ajani's Pridemate. Opponent has a forest. Into an Archdruid that we can path. We like that. I'm going to take the Skyfisher now. And just bring back a Plains. And then we'll path the Archdruid. Starting to run out of plays here. Very nervous about what Bugler reveals. Let's get a chump damage in. And Skyfisher actually, if they can't find a Lord, Skyfisher can keep Elves at bay pretty well, being a 2/3. Another Plains. Sorry, another Forest. For another Lanny. Three mana could be Azuri. Another Archdruid. That is a little frustrating. But we're starting to see that they're big mana, not really. Oh, Nettle Sentinel is a problem. Another Skyfisher. We'll cast the Bugler here. Go searching for a Pridemate. And it's a Sculler. Sculler and Whitemane Lion here. So we do have the ability to just keep Militia Bugling, and we're going to take that opportunity. Opponent down to 2 cards, so they can't get much wider. If they have an Azuri, we're in trouble though. Two mana for a Visionary. Lets him dig, gives us a trigger. Opponent taps 3. Lead the Stampede. Let's see what they find with Lead the Stampede. Not a great Lead the Stampede. They got a Llanowar Elves, a Dwynen's Elite, and then a Clan Caller. So they did get another Lord, but not too scary of a situation here. So next turn we play the Skyfisher, bring back the Bugler, and then hold up Whitemane Lion so that we can block with Skyfisher and bring back the Skyfisher with Whitemane Lion. Is the best option we have right now. So right now we're still in okay shape. There's a Soul's Attendant. We're going to actually play that right now, just to make sure we're gaining a ton of life. Everything we do now, every card that's cast at this point now gains us 2 life. We're gonna Whitemane Lion back the Bugler on our instep, on their instep. They get a forest, so we know they didn't draw the Azuri. So we've still got some time. They search for another clan caller, giving us 2 triggers. Always yes. So we will block with the Bugler here, and then prior to damage, cast the Whitemane Lion to bring back the Bugler, gain 2 life, take 2. If we hit a land here, we will cast the Bugler and the Skyfisher, maybe? Monument is great. Monument is very strong for us right now. It allows us to generate just infinite blockers and life. Turn the Whitemane Lion. So we have an instant speed thing. And what we can do now is just generate infinite things with Whitemane Lion. Once we run out of cards, we can just generate infinite, not infinite, but as much 1/1 warrior, as many 1/1 warriors as we have mana. We still need to find an answer for the Azuri when they eventually draw it. They'll tap 6, so another clan caller activation, one would imagine. Nine, 7. Another clan caller activation. So they'll have all their lords, which if we just top deck here, well here, we've got them. If we just top deck a Dusk here, they are dead, because all of their creatures are just dead to Dusk. They should come at us with everything. That would force us to make hard decisions here. They choose to not come at us with everything. So we'll take 12. And there's the Dusk. Which just wipes their entire board. And now we get in for 6. So with 2 cards in hand, that should give us the win. It's hard to imagine they have answers. And we just have the ability to generate a ton of life. There's a Duenen's Elite, which is going to give us a bunch of triggers. Oh no, wait, they don't have an elf, so it's only a 2/2. There's a Whitemane Lion. We'll cast the Bugler. Get a bunch of life gain triggers. And we'll find another Bugler. Attacking for 4. This is kind of why we built the deck. If there are some decks in the format that can't really interact with you, they're so dedicated to what they're doing, they can't really interact with you. And if they stumble, and you can assemble this Oketra's Monument combo, you can be functionally unkillable. Visionary will draw them a card, allowing them to dig. We do still have to lead the Stampede's a really strong draw for them. Let's see what it gets them. Elvish Mystic, just Elvish Mystic, that's a pretty significant whiff, unfortunately. That's an unfortunate thing for our opponent. Our opponent's pretty behind, and then they cast a 3-mana draw 1. Not how they want to be spending their time. So we'll cast Whitemane Lion, bounce Whitemane Lion, cast Whitemane Lion again, bounce Bugler. Hard to imagine they can overcome what we're doing here. So we'll return the Whitemane Lion to our hand. Oh, we messed up there. Another Dusk, just in case things get out of hand. We'll attack for 6. Block on Bugler. We're going to cast the Windbrisk Heights Bugler. Gain 4 life, go up to 47. I initially didn't run Serra Ascendant in this list because of the budget concerns. And I thought about it and I was like, I don't even think I want it even if it's not budget. Maybe there are some matchups where Serra Ascendant would close down things really well. There's the Pridemate we've been looking for. We will cast Pridemate. We're trying to just show our opponent that they have no way of crawling out here. We are the go wide now. And there's the concession. So Soul Sister steals a game 1 due to our opponent's bad mull. We top deck really well with the Dusk in game 3 after rolling him up pretty quickly in game after getting rolled pretty quickly in game 2. So a nice win against a 50-50 matchup is a great way to start this league. We'll see you in the next one.